was so proud of the work that everybody did, but I never dreamed there would be a sequel. I didn't even think like that. It was the movie we were going to do and then move on.
You know, and so we did 2 movies back to back, basically.
I brought Don back on the second film. Yes, he was rewritten by John LaFia on the first film and then Tom Holland after that, but he has always had a first position writer's credit on 30 years of Chucky.
In Child's Play 2, Andy Barclay is sent to live with foster parents, played by Jenny Agutter and Garrett Graham. And of course, they don't believe him that this doll has been haunting him for so much of his young life, and they soon wind up risking Chucky's wrath.
I've had it.
But you're gonna kill him!
Andy! I don't have any favorite individual memories from that set because the entire experience was so exciting for me. I was so unbelievably happy to be there.
This was really the big production. So I really looked up to all those people when I was a kid, and I had a lifetime of remembering that I looked up to them.
He was 7 and I was 24, so while I was like a big sister to him then, and he has since told me that I was the person he remembers being nicest to him then. He really felt like I was his big sister.
Christine, for example, you know, she really feels like my older sister.
It's a relationship that's rarely explored in horror movies or movies in general. It's like the foster sibling relationship. He is a little messed up from his experience, but he has this older sibling he attaches onto real fast. She treats him as an equal, and she's like, yep, life's messed up, but I'll help you out. And she goes to bat for him. It's really nice.
I auditioned the way everyone does. I went to my agent got me an appointment and I went in and I read. My stock in trade at the time was the offbeat, misunderstood tough chick with a heart of gold, which was my stock in trade for many, many years. And I didn't get it, but I got an episode of 21 Jump Street that I went and did, and then I came back from that, and the day I came back from Jump Street, I got an episode of the then Baywatch. And I was working, and I felt really empowered, and they hadn't found the Kyle yet, and so they decided to go back and read the girls that had been near misses. And I went back with attitude, though. I had a call time. I didn't have time to waste. I had to get in and out of there and get my ass to the beach and do a whole day on Baywatch. My attitude shifted enormously for that second audition, and I think that's why I got it. That black leather hat that I'm wearing, it's my hat. I've worn it in a ton of stuff. I wore it in the old 90210. I wore it in the new 90210. I wore it in the old Chucky and the new Chucky. It's the single most important piece of memorabilia from my career that I have, and it's weird because I owned it before I was an actor.
They made a big maze out of the empty Chucky boxes. It was a lot of fun. And I remember, you know, melting down Chucky with that hot wax. It wasn't really hot, but it looked hot.
And then that last sequence in the toy factory is just incredible. Like, that's when you see a movie about a killer toy, you want it to end in a toy factory.
All those scenes were action-packed parts of the film, but also time-consuming, because if it's more demanding of us physically, it's most likely more demanding of Chucky, and that means a lot of extra puppeteer work.
It takes all 9 puppeteers to work. We got a guy on legs, a guy on one arm, a guy on another arm, 3 facial puppeteers working the lips, the brows, the eyes, a puppeteer on the head and body.
You know, the small army of technicians were needed to bring Chucky to life.
It's really sort of an animated movie. You know, it's shot in live action and stuff, but he was completely animated, just in a sort of a puppet sense.
And Kevin rounded up some of the best, people in the business.
The biggest challenge, I think, again, for us, the crew, was to get, and the puppeteers, was to get the doll to walk, to give a convincing walk.
Been very naughty, Miss Kettlebell.
Now I consider Kevin a friend, but then he was just sort of like everybody there that was above me. They were gods.
And the puppeteering that went into bringing Chucky to life to do the impossible, and they did it.
In the first film, we used a little person and cut between the two. Kevin has now made it possible that we don't need a little person at all.
I was just really enamored of being there, especially when we first started. The first half of the schedule was on the lot at Universal, and it was on a stage that had, at the time, the oldest existing set in the world. It was the Opera House from the original Phantom of the Opera, which has since burned down. But being on the Universal lot where the Universal monsters were born and being a working actress. It's just, you really feel like an actor. You really feel like you're part of that historic community when you're on one of those old lots. They're so magical.
Please, I was only playing.
Child's Play 2 and 3 were kind of shot back to back, and I think they were rushed into production. They came out less than a year apart.
They had Justin Whalen, who I've never met to this day, but they had him play Andy.
No offense to Justin Whalen, but, you know, I was so attached to Alex, who is the most adorable kid. Yeah, to have him recast, I understand they wanted to age him up for story purposes.
Because I was not old enough. I was only 10 at the time. They wanted him to be 16 and have a girlfriend and be in military school.
And every project that I've ever made, if you go through my whole filmography, they all deal with children, whether it's Hocus Pocus, whether it's An American Tail and a little Jewish mouse, but they're all kids.
When I heard that we were making a third one, I assumed that I would be in it. As a 10-year-old, that was a bit of a tough pill to swallow.
To Andy Barclay and Chucky, those are the projects that I'm attracted to. The exploration of childhood is everything to me. To me, it forms who we are as people.
What happens to real people in real life when they have violence happen when you're a child? I mean, it would screw you up.
Somehow I saw it though when it came out, and you know, I thought, yeah, okay, maybe I'll look like that when I'm 16. I don't know. I think he did a fine job. The movie was fun. The one-liners were becoming a little more prominent.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
It's got, really good kills in it.
Just how sadistic it is to make the kids kill each other instead of him doing the work by replacing those paintballs with bullets and live ammunition. That's nuts.
And Chucky's death scene is spectacular in that film.
And then they end up killing Chucky in the end. Or do they? And we begin Bride of Chucky with his ex-girlfriend Tiffany, stitching him back together and resurrecting him.
When I thought up that character with Bride of Chucky, I knew that, it needed to be a two-hander.
Awake! Awake, awake, awake!
This needed to be a movie about a relationship between these two characters, and so the Bride of Chucky needed to be very different from Chucky.
You look like Martha Stewart with that thing.
Who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
My idol.
They tried something entirely new with Bride and really changed it up.
It very much was the perfect adjustment of changing the way Chucky was, those movies were, into the way they needed to be for that era.
Introduced Tiffany, who just revitalizes the series, I think.
Chucky is kind of like more straightforwardly bloodthirsty, whereas Tiffany, she has some conventional wants in her life. She wants love, she wants affection, she wants to be understood.